Hello everybody and welcome back. We're in Blender and we just finished working in Marvelous Designer. So now that we're here in Marvelous Designer, it's time to bring in Marvelous Designer. Now that we're here in Blender, we can bring in our clothes. So I'm going to delete that big cat because we don't need her. We didn't use her. And I'm going to go to File, Import, OBJ, and I'm going to find our Tutgar and bring it in. So if you hold down Shift, you will see that it fits right onto our avatar, pops right on her, no problem. We can do some modifications to this if we want. Smooth it out, anything that's popping out, like any flesh popping out. Oops. I meant to inflate. And then, softly smooth it out. Now, there are some people who will scream bloody murder if you were to upload this into Marvel Second Life as is. Luckily, the Bladencat is such a small cat that even if the stuff is, turned up in it's not that bad. It's just got an ugly topology, but you know how I feel about that. Now, I do not know how to manually retopolize a mesh. So what I like to do is I like to use what's the Zbrush Z remesher in order to do it that way. That's just my way of doing it. I'm sure there are some other ways of doing it, but I don't know. And I don't care to know it because I know that means it's going to be more work, and we're all about the easy peasy lemon squeezy in this joint. So I'm going to just select her garment. I really wish I didn't tuck these pants in. I should have left them tucked out. So let me try to do some modifying on that just a little bit and pull the shirt out and down and stuff because, I don't like it. Select this little edge. Damn it. Why is it not letting me select this edge? There. That. So, there we go. Okay, so it's bad, but it's not bad. Alright, so we have this, we have our shirt, we have our pants, and I'm going to throw them in Z remesher real quick and try to get this topology all sorted out. So let's select, I think we can do them both. I'm just going to do it one at a time, just because I feel like it. So I'm just going to retopolize the shirt. So we're just going to export it all and make sure that when you do this, you have the include UVs and right normals, right materials in there. It's checked. And then we're going to name this Untop Shirt. Make sure that those two are checked. Otherwise, I can't do it. And then we do the same thing for the pants. Chapter. Let's do that with one. So I know I didn't list Zbrush in the opening thing, like the opening materials. I just remembered it because I'm trying to get in the swing of teaching people how to quad things and, the whole Build a Better Second Life campaign. Hang on, I gotta get some water. I found that it's a lot easier to have a water dispenser next to my desk. That way I can get water whenever instead of having to run across the room. It's so luxurious. Oh my God. Okay. So I have this old version of ZBrush. I think it's Z4 or something. Don't ask me where I got it from because I got it way back when it was new and fancy and just came out, so forever ago. So I'm sure any ZBrush allows you to do this, so you can just do it that way if you can find it. So here is our topology size pretty gem shirt. So we're going to go to polygroups and we're going to say, what did she say? Auto groups with UV. Auto groups with UV, then you click geometry and you do Z remesher and you freeze groups and then you Z remesh it. And then you see that it comes out like this now, all quad and beautiful. So listen. And then we use the UV master. And I'm going to try to pull this down. Say polygroups and unwrap all. Wait for it to work. I can't tell if it did it or not. And then withdraw, and then we have that, I guess. And then I'm going to hit export, and the top shirt. And then I guess we're gonna do the same thing with the pants. There's a cat biting at my leg. And I'm not sure how to do it this way in the same one, but I'm just gonna do the same thing over again with the mesh, geometry, freeze groups, Z remesher. Look at it, pair of pants. Plug in, polygroups, unwrap. And there we go. And let me call it remesh pants. Oh, off my ankle. Alright. And that's it. We can just close Zbrush. So we just bring it on in. Remesh pants. OBJ remesh shirt. So a remeshing of this got it to 1,329 triangles, whereas normally it was 3,639 triangles. So it did reduce the count, which, you know, less heavy stuff on Second Life, the better. So I want to have my shirt. It has no texture on there, and that's bothering me. So I'm going to create a new one real quick. And it's, okay, it's a shirt, so it's fine. Make it that big. So we have the shirt. Oh, whoops. We have join. And I wonder what it looks like if I try to pack the island. I really don't like the way this is laying. So I'm going to turn off this. And we're going to select. Like normally I could press L, but I have the island thing on. So let's see. Let's turn that off. L and then rotate it up. So this will be a lot easier for decorating your shirt. And back. Okay, so there's my shirt pattern. Okay, now we're going to join it together. Now we have our shirt. Now I'm going to bake a quick texture to it. I'm going to turn my ambient occlusion on. So I'm going to add samples at 10 because I just want to quick. And we're going to hit bake. Oh. All of it, please. New map. Shirt. And then we're going to bake it. And it's smooth, so we get a nice and smooth shirt. Now, if you want, like, you know, shading and shadow and all that jazz, we can not use normalized, and that will make it gray. Like this, or pretty much I think any color that you have set during the materials over here. So if we were to change the diffuse color to like maybe red and then try to bake it, we will get a nice red shirt. So we'll use red, it's cool. So we have our red shirt, and now we're just going to make a few modifications to the body over here. Oh, I want to turn on my proportional editor and pull it out a little bit. Is that shirt moving? No, it's just catching my eye. Weird. Alright, so we have our shirt, and we have no clipping, and we're all ready to go and to do the same thing for the pants, I guess. But do we really need do we really need pants? Have you seen a cat with pants before? I haven't. But that's because they probably didn't have a tutorial to teach them how to make pants. So, we're going to show you how to do your pants. Alright, so we have our pants, and I'm going to do the same thing. Create a new material, pants, and then do another quick bake. And making sure to smooth it out. Okay. It's not that. Alright. Now, you know what? I actually want... No, we don't want that. We want to just puff all this out real quick. Puff, 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 puff. And up there. Alright, darlings. Now, we noticed that when we joined it, we did create a weird seam inside the pants. We can actually just easily get rid of the seams by pressing tab and going to edit mode, then pressing W, and then pushing remove doubles. And that got rid of the seam, but I think it's baked into the texture right there, so it don't really matter. Remove doubles. There we go. Alright, so don't worry about the crotch area. We'll get that done. See? There we go. Nice and done. Smooth it out. Puff and smooth, my patent technique for doing anything. Let's puff these pants out a little bit, and so now we have a cute pair of pants and that. Alright, now we get to go to the fun part, rigging. So I don't know if that should be another tutorial, but we're only like 12 minutes, so I guess we can try to squeeze it in, see how much faster it could be. Alrighty, so importing our garment, tailoring, and now we get into rigging. So we need to first bring up our skeleton, so hold down shift and select the skeleton layer, which is always underneath the first layer in my dev kits. And then we need to attach our skeleton to these pants to our skeleton, so we can, do the rigging. So, to attach our skeleton, the pants to our skeleton, we're just going to click on the pants, go over to the modifier go over to the modifier menu, and then select add modifier. And then from there, we're going to select armature, and then we're going to select from the list, Bladencat Skelly, the one that says use me. So that way you know which one it is. So Bladencat, so modifier, add modifier, armature, object, use me. Bladencat Skelly, use me. Great. So now it is attached to our skeleton, but when we go into pose mode and try to move our skeleton, you see it doesn't move at all. The garment doesn't move. This is because we don't have any weights on there. Now, back in the day, we used to call this bone heat, but it has been changed to weight painting for Second Life people or skinning for the general 3D people. So we're going to add all of that heat and bone weight and skinning to our garment so that it can move with the avatar. So first thing we need to do is turn to our display and our shading and turn off the solid texture. This will help you be able to see everything a lot easier. So we're going to start with our shirt, and then we're going to move on to the pants. This is why I like using Marvelous. This is why I like using Blender 2.72, because I believe it has the best weight painting transfer ever. It's my favorite. I know they have data transfer over here, but this one is still my favorite. Okie doke. So what we need to do is go into weight paint mode. So we're going to select our shirt, and we're going to go into weight paint mode. And as you see, the garment suddenly turns blue. And I'm going to tell you what these colors mean. So in order to weight paint or add heat or so to the bones, we need to first go over to our section, the tools panel of our weight paint, and turn up the heat. Now Blender distributes control via what we like to call bone heat. It is shown in a sort of thermal coloring, kind of like those heat vision things. So blue is cold, which means that it has no control over it. And red, or 1, is hot, which means it has all the control on it. Now, it's a good example of what's happening right now. Now, let's say you are turning on your weight paint and you start clicking on it and you're moving it all around and it's barely working like this. Make sure that this little box down here at the bottom, the limit selection to visible, is unchecked, because that will jack stuff up when you're weight painting in this blender. So now you see we can actually start painting and making stuff work. Okay, so here it is, weight painting in a nutshell. The redder the bone, the redder the paint, the more control the bone has over the garment. So if we were to select this bone right here and we were to paint the whole garment red just like this, you'll see that when we move this bone, the whole thing reacts to it. Now if we were to cool it down and make it more blue or colder, it loses its power over the mesh and the less control it has over it. So when we rotate it, you'll see that it's like, nope, you have no power over me, red bone. And, that helps it work. So basically, it's kind of like cooking. You just need to strike the right temperature with the garment and make fine adjustments until it moves right, at least how you think it should move right. Now, we aren't going to go through all of these bones and paint the weight on each one. No, we're going to cheat, the ginkgo way. And by cheating, I mean we're going to take the weights from the body and put them onto the garment. So to do that, Blender has this neat feature called weight transfer, and we're going to use that to copy the weights from the body to the shirt. Now what you want to do is that you want to always select the source first, then the target. The source being the body, the target being the garment. So when you're doing this, you want to select the body first, or the good weights first, hold down shift, and select the garment, and it should highlight like this. Now you know you did it right when you go into weight paint mode and your garment is blue. If the body or the source is blue, then you have the wrong selection made and you're about to transfer the empty weights of your garment to the good weights of your body and just break the whole kit. So you don't want that. Always body first, shift, then garment in the object mode, and then we switch over to weight paint mode, and then you'll see it's like this. So now that we have all of that selected, we just need to scroll down until the weight in our tools panel, and then select weight transfer. So now you see all the weights from the body have gone over to our garment, and it's like boom, fast rigging. So of course it won't always be perfect. We worked hard to try to make it as perfect as possible, but you may have to come inside here and fix a few things. Now, let's say you want to make adjustments. Just remember what I said, hot and cold. If you want to remove some weights from some bone, just turn it down to 0. Turn it down, lower it, and then you see less control here. Just, get that good striker temperature. Play around with it. But if you like the way it does it instantly, and you see there is some clipping, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that later. Everything seems to be fine. Now let's do the same thing with our pants. So we want to select our pants first. Got the skeleton. Okay, good. So deselect everything with A. Select our cat body, then our pants, and then press weight paint, and do the same thing. Transfer weights. And as you see, it's going in there. Now we may have a little bit of stickiness in here. That's to be expected because this part right here is thick on the body, but we can easily fix that. So we're going to use a bit of targeting weights. So we're going to select the bones to see what's pulling on what. You see we have this upper leg bone pulling on the crotch. Now we could just go in here and press 0 and remove the weights from here, but we run the risk of erasing weights from the leg it's supposed to have. So we can use our masking tool down at the bottom, which is this little box with a checker, and we can select the offending triangle, and work just on that segment. So you see, as we remove the heat from that bone, it's snapping away from it and going back to the leg. Now, you can't select another bone when you are in masking, so just press the M key real quick, select what you may think is also causing the problem, which is going to be this main M hip, and press M again, select the triangle, press this, and clean up those pants. You can get all in there. Now, when it comes to pants, I learned that this whole area is best given to pelvis, and that will fix it. But, we're in there. We're just going to do the same thing over here. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little. I'm not really good at rigging pants, but I've gotten a little bit better at rigging pants. So turn the heat up in the crotch area. Whoopsie daisy. Alright. Do the same thing over here. I think once your leg is like, we can add more. But sometimes you may have to add the weight on from the good leg. So it has no, there we go. Alright, so as you see, it works. We may have a little bit of clipping, but no fear. Alphas are here. So we can actually fix this by, I'm going to actually smooth this. What is the good pants or the bad pants? Those are good pants. Okay. So I have to smooth my pants out after I did the rigging to make sure it's nice and smooth. Puff, puff here and there. Over just nice pants. Alright, so we got pants, and now what do we need to do? We need to create an alpha so that when we go to wear it, it doesn't clip. Now, because the Bladencat fashion or MK series is MK8 Ultra series is bakes on mesh. We can wear alphas instead of having to rely on an alpha HUD. So it's time to take your garment and create our alpha. So, which I really believe should be a second part of this video. Nah, we're already here. Might as well keep going. Alright, last one. Then we're moving on to the next one. So what I need you to do is to take your garment and the body, and we're going to make a duplicate of it. So we're going to select our body, hold down shift, select our top, select our bottom, press shift D, and then move it to an empty layer. Press M and then move it to a... Hang on 1 second. My cat just fell. Okay. Sorry about that. Where did we send it? Okay. So it's here, and here is our garment. I'm going to press these two together and join them. Then we're going to select the body, and we're going to press Tab and A, and it should bring up a texture of the skin. We're going to press X, and we're going to create a new skin, and this is going to be our alpha. Next, we're going to go into our baking, except for this time we're going to press normalized, and we're going to bake. Okay, cool. You can look and see how it looks when we have this on. Alrighty, doke. So this is going to be our alpha, and I'm going to save it. I like to just put a couple of those in there in case something breaks. Alright, so that's our alpha, and this is our clothes, and then we're going to get into the next part, which is texturing and then testing it out. So I will see you guys in our next video. Sorry this one went on so long. And oh, the kitten is fine. She landed on her side first, then her feet, and I pet her for a little bit, so she's okay. Sorry about that. Hope I didn't worry anybody. But yes, now that we're done with this, we're going to go on to our next video, which is texturing and, test rigging and rigging. Well, we already did rigging. I mean, test wearing and painting and all that fun stuff. So get your Photoshops ready. We're going to make some clothes. Yay!